Sang Hun-yoon didn't do failure. He built an empire from shadows and silence, commanded respect with a glance, and never ever let anyone dictate his life. But tonight, walking into Maria with 3 4-year-olds clutching his hands, he was about to fail spectacularly, and he was counting on it. His grandmother had orchestrated this blind date with the relentless precision of a military general. "You need a wife, Sang-hoon. Those girls need a mother." He'd tried everything. Excuses, deflection, outright refusal. Nothing worked. So he decided on nuclear option. Bring the girls. No woman would stay once she saw he came with a package deal. Hae-won tugged his hand. "Appa, why are we dressed fancy?" Yuna pressed closer to his leg, overwhelmed by the restaurant's elegance. Yoonji pointed at the chandeliers. "Pretty lights." His chest tightened. They deserved better than this circus. But one awkward dinner would buy him 6 months of peace from his family. Then he saw her. Across the restaurant, a woman in a simple navy dress stood, scanning the room. Her dark skin glowed under the ambient lighting, her natural curls framing her face. She looked nervous. When her eyes found his and the 3 small faces beside him, he braced for the inevitable. The polite smile, the manufactured excuse, the quick exit. Instead, she walked straight toward them and smiled. Not the tight, uncomfortable smile he expected. A real one. Warm. Curious. "Hi," she said, crouching to the girl's eye level. "I'm Sana. And who are these beautiful princesses?" For the first time in years, Sang Hun-yoon had absolutely no idea what to do. Sana Mitchell had learned early that life rarely went according to plan. Growing up in Brooklyn, working 2 jobs through nursing school, watching her mother stretch every dollar, she understood that survival meant adaptability. But tonight felt different. Tonight felt like possibility. The dating app profile had been sparse. Sang-hoon, 36, business owner, father. The photos showed a strikingly handsome Korean man with intense eyes and sharp features. No smile. Something in his expression suggested walls built high and thick. She'd almost swiped left, but then she'd noticed the background of one photo, a child's drawing taped to what looked like a home office wall. A father who displayed his daughter's art. That detail made her swipe right. What she hadn't expected was 3 daughters, or that they'd be at the restaurant, or that the man walking toward her reservation table would look like he stepped out of a Korean drama. Tailored black suit, white shirt with the top buttons undone, an intricate tattoo visible on his neck. Power radiated from him like heat. The logical response would be to leave. This was clearly a test, a barrier, a way of saying, "I'm not available." But Sana had spent her entire nursing career reading people, understanding what they needed even when they couldn't articulate it. And these little girls, they needed someone to see them, really see them. So she walked forward, crouched down, met their eyes. "I'm Hae-won," the first girl announced, chin lifted with unmistakable authority. "I'm 4.5. That's Yuna, and that's Yoonji. We're triplets." "Triplets?" Sana's smile widened. "That's amazing. I bet you 3 are unstoppable together." Yuna's grip on her father's pant leg loosened slightly. Yoonji bounced on her toes. "Do you like pancakes?" "Appa makes pancakes on Sundays, but they're always burned on the bottom." Sana laughed, genuine, bright. "The secret is lower heat and patience. Maybe I could show him the trick sometime." She straightened, finally meeting Sang-hoon's gaze directly. Up close, his features were even more striking. High cheekbones, a strong jaw, eyes that assessed her with unnerving intensity. But beneath that scrutiny, she caught something else. Surprise. Maybe even hope. "You're still here." His voice was deep, accented slightly, carrying an edge of disbelief. "Should I not be?" She tilted her head, curious. "Most women leave when they see I come with complications." Sana glanced at the 3 pairs of dark eyes, watching their exchange with keen interest. "These aren't complications. They're blessings." She looked back at him, unwavering. "And I'm not most women." Something shifted in his expression. Just a flicker, but she caught it. The maitre d' appeared, gesturing toward their table. Sang-hoon hesitated for just a moment, then nodded. At the table, the girls climbed into their seats with practiced efficiency, clearly accustomed to fancy restaurants. Hae-won sat beside her father, protective. Yuna chose the seat next to Sana without prompting, her movements tentative but deliberate. Yoonji bounced between excitement and distraction. "So," Sana began, opening her menu but keeping her attention on the girls, "what's your favorite thing to do together?" "We watch cartoons," Yoonji volunteered immediately, "and Appa reads us stories, but he does all the voices wrong." Sang-hoon's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. I do my best. What stories do you like? Sana asked, leaning forward with genuine interest. Yuna spoke quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. Princess stories, but not the scary ones. Sana nodded seriously. Smart choice. Some of those old fairy tales are actually pretty dark. My mum used to read me stories about African queens and warriors, real women who were brave and strong. Would you like to hear about one? 3 heads bobbed in unison. For the next 15 minutes, Sana wove the tale of Queen Nzinga, who negotiated with Portuguese colonizers and defended her kingdom with strategic brilliance. She made her voice dynamic, bringing the story to life. The girls hung on every word. Sang-hoon watched, his expression unreadable but his attention absolute. When their food arrived, Sana seamlessly helped cut Yuna's chicken without being asked, corrected Yoonji's grip on her fork with gentle humor, and listened to Haiwon's detailed explanation of why strawberries were better than blueberries. You're good with them. Sang-hoon's voice was low, meant only for her. I work in pediatrics, she replied, spearing a piece of asparagus. Kids respond to authenticity. They know when you're pretending. And you're not pretending. She met his eyes directly. No, I'm not. The meal continued with surprising ease. Sana learned that Haiwon loved to draw, Yuna preferred books, and Yoonji collected rocks from everywhere they went. She discovered that Sang-hoon owned import-export businesses, a vague answer that told her absolutely nothing while telling her everything. The tattoo on his neck, she realized, was a tiger rendered in traditional Korean style, fierce and protective. When dessert arrived, a spectacular chocolate creation, Sana insisted the girls share hers. They giggled as she made airplane noises with the spoon, their earlier reserve completely dissolved. You're not what I expected, Sang-hoon said, as the server cleared their plates. What did you expect? Someone who would run. His honesty was unexpected, disarming. That was the plan, wasn't it? Bring the kids, scare off the date. Tell your grandmother you tried. His lips curved, not quite a smile, but close. You're perceptive. I'm a nurse. Reading people is part of the job. She paused, choosing her words carefully. But here's what you didn't count on. I didn't come here looking for perfection. I came here looking for something real. Yuna yawned, leaning against Sana's arm. The gesture was unconscious, trusting. Sana's heart squeezed. We should go, Sang-hoon said, but he didn't move immediately. Before they fall asleep at the table. Outside, the November air bit cold. The girls huddled against their father while the valet retrieved his car. Sana pulled her coat tighter, preparing to say goodbye, already mourning the loss of this unexpected connection. Miss Sana. Haiwon looked up at her, expression serious. Will we see you again? Before Sana could answer, Sang-hoon spoke. Would you be interested in seeing us again? The question sounded rusty, like he hadn't asked anything vulnerable in years. Sana looked at the 3 small faces watching her with hope, then at the man who was clearly terrified of what her answer might be. Yes, she said simply. I would. Sang-hoon pulled out his phone, handed it to her. As she entered her number, Yoonji tugged her father's sleeve. Appa, can Sana come make pancakes with us? He looked at Sana, something shifting behind his eyes. Sunday, if you're free. I work until 3, but I could come after. We'll wait. The certainty in his voice sent warmth through her chest. As the sleek black SUV pulled away, 3 small hands waved frantically from the back window. Sana waved back, grinning like a fool. She had no idea what she was getting into. She didn't know about the empire he controlled, the dangers that shadowed his world, the secrets that would soon unravel. All she knew was that she'd just met 4 people who made her feel something she hadn't felt in years. Needed. What Sana didn't see was the black sedan that had been parked across the street all evening, or the man inside who had photographed her with the Yoon family, or the message he sent the moment she walked away. Target acquired. The boss has a weakness now. Sunday afternoon sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Sang-hoon's Tribeca penthouse. Sana stood in the marble foyer, momentarily overwhelmed. The apartment screamed wealth. Minimalist furniture, original art on the walls, a view of the Hudson River that probably cost more than her entire year's salary. Sana! 3 voices shrieked in unison. The girls barreled toward her, hospital scrubs and all, their enthusiasm obliterating her insecurity about not belonging in this space. She crouched, accepting their enthusiastic hugs. Did you 3 grow since Thursday? I swear you're taller. We're the same, Haiwon said seriously, but she was grinning. Appa said you'd come, but Yuna was worried you wouldn't. Yuna flushed, hiding partially behind her sister. Sana reached out, gently tugging one of Yuna's braids. "I promised, didn't I? And I always keep my promises." Sang-hoon emerged from what she assumed was the kitchen, barefoot, wearing dark jeans and a simple white t-shirt. Casual looked good on him, dangerously good. The neck tattoo was fully visible now, the tiger seeming to prowl across his skin. "You came." Relief colored his words. "Did you really think I wouldn't?" People say a lot of things they don't mean. The statement carried weight, history. Sana straightened, meeting his gaze evenly. "I'm not people." Something flickered across his face. Acknowledgement. Maybe respect. "No, you're not." He gestured toward the kitchen. "Ready to teach me the secret to non-burned pancakes?" The kitchen was a chef's dream, sleek, modern, equipped with appliances that probably required instruction manuals. Ingredients were laid out with military precision: flour, eggs, milk, butter, vanilla. Measuring cups arranged by size. "You're very organized," Sana observed, washing her hands. "Control is necessary in my life." He said it matter-of-factly, without elaboration. "Cooking requires a different kind of control," she said, pulling her braids into a bun. "It's about feel, intuition, flexibility. Recipes are guidelines, not rules." He looked uncomfortable with that concept. Sana smiled, reaching for the mixing bowl. "First lesson, cooking is about making mistakes and learning from them. It's supposed to be fun." The girls climbed onto bar stools, watching with rapt attention. Sana handed Yoonji the measuring cup for flour. "You want to fill it just to the line, see? Then use the back of a knife to level it off." Flour dusted everywhere as Yoonji enthusiastically complied. Sang-hoon moved to clean it, but Sana caught his wrist. "It's just flour. We'll clean later. Right now we're making memories." His skin was warm under her fingers. She released him quickly, focusing back on the task. "Yuna, want to crack the eggs?" The shy girl nodded, taking an egg with careful reverence. Under Sana's patient guidance, she cracked it perfectly. Her face lit up with pride. "I did it!" "You absolutely did." Sana high-fived her. "Hey, Wan, you're in charge of stirring. But here's the secret. You want to mix until it's just combined. Over-mixing makes pancakes tough." Sang-hoon watched the entire process with laser focus, as if committing every movement to memory. When Sana tested the griddle temperature with a drop of water, he moved closer. "This is the crucial part," she explained. "Medium-low heat, not high. That's where you've been going wrong. High heat burns the outside before the inside cooks." "Patience." He said the word like it was foreign. "Patience," she confirmed. "Watch for bubbles to form on the surface, then flip. One flip only." The first pancake emerged golden. Perfect. The girls cheered. Sang-hoon's expression softened, just barely, but enough. "Your turn," Sana said, handing him the ladle. His hand brushed hers as he took it. Their eyes met, held. The kitchen felt suddenly smaller, warmer. Then Yoonji's voice broke the moment. "Appa, you have to flip it now." He flipped. The pancake was perfect. The girls erupted in applause. Something in Sang-hoon's posture shifted. Pride, maybe, or relief at doing something right for them. They made a mountain of pancakes, the girls helping with increasingly chaotic enthusiasm. Flour covered every surface. Batter splattered the counter. The kitchen looked like a disaster zone. Sang-hoon, who clearly valued order and control, didn't say a word about the mess. He was too busy watching his daughters laugh. At the dining table, a massive piece of reclaimed wood that could seat 12, they ate their creations. The girls chatted constantly, telling Sana about their preschool, their favorite cartoons, their ongoing debate about whether cats or dogs were superior pets. "Do you have any brothers or sisters?" Haewon asked, syrup coating her chin. "No, it's just me and my mom. She raised me by herself." Sana wiped Haewon's face with a napkin. "She worked 3 jobs to make sure I could go to nursing school." "That's a lot of jobs," Yoonji said, eyes wide. "It is, but she did it because she loved me and wanted me to have opportunities she didn't have." Sana caught Sang-hoon watching her intently. Family sacrifices for each other. That's what love looks like. Yuna's small voice broke the comfortable silence. "Our mommy died when we were born." The air shifted. Sang-hoon's jaw tightened. Sana set down her fork carefully, giving the moment the weight it deserved. "I'm so sorry, sweetie. That must be very hard." "We don't remember her," Haewon added matter-of-factly. "Appa has pictures, but they make him sad, so we don't ask to see them much." Sana's heart cracked. She looked at Sang-hoon, saw the pain he worked so hard to conceal. A man raising 3 daughters alone, carrying grief he couldn't fully express, building walls to protect himself from more loss. Your mother must have loved you very much, Sana said gently, and your father loves you enough for two parents, I can see that. Sang-hoon's eyes met hers across the table. In them she saw gratitude, vulnerability, warning, as if he was saying, this is what you're walking into. Grief, complexity, baggage. She held his gaze steadily. I'm not running. After breakfast, the girls dragged Sana to their playroom, a wonderland of toys, art supplies, and books. While they drew pictures of Sana as a princess, she and Sang-hoon cleaned the kitchen in comfortable silence. You're good at this, he said, washing a mixing bowl. Dishes? Being with them, talking to them. They've had a lot of nannies, good women, competent, but none of them connected with my daughters like you do. Sana dried a plate, considering her words. Kids know authenticity. They can sense when someone sees them as a job versus seeing them as people. I don't see your daughters as a responsibility. I see three amazing little humans who deserve to be loved exactly as they are. He stopped washing, turned to face her fully. Why are you doing this? You barely know us. I could ask you the same thing. Why did you text me 4 times between Thursday and today? Why did you wait for me even though I had to work late? Sang-hoon was quiet for a long moment. Because in 15 years of everything I've built, every choice I've made, I've never met someone who looks at my daughters and sees possibility instead of complication, who looks at me and doesn't see. He stopped, reconsidered. Doesn't see what? Sana prompted gently. Something to be afraid of. She set down the dish towel, moved closer, close enough to see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes, the faint scar above his left eyebrow, the way his pulse beat at his throat. I'm a nurse in the ER at Bellevue. I see terrifying things every single shift. Real danger, real trauma. You're a father who burns pancakes trying to make his daughters happy. You're a man who displays their artwork in your office. Whatever else you are, that's what I see first. His hand came up, hesitated, then gently cupped her cheek. The gesture was tender, questioning. His thumb brushed across her cheekbone. You should be afraid, he whispered. I'm not a good man, Sana. Maybe not, but you're a good father. And right now, that's what matters. They stood there, caught in a moment that felt both inevitable and terrifying. Then Yunji's voice rang out from the playroom. Sana, come see. You're wearing a crown. Sang-hoon stepped back, the spell broken. But something had shifted between them. A door opening, walls cracking. When Sana finally left hours later, the girls refused to let go until she promised to come back. Sang-hoon walked her to the elevator, his daughters watching from the doorway. I need to tell you something, he said as the elevator approached. My life is complicated. There are things about my work, my family, my world that might make you want to run. Then tell me. Not yet. His jaw tightened. Not until I know you won't disappear. The elevator dinged. Sana stepped inside, turned to face him. Sang-hoon? Whatever you think I should be afraid of. I grew up in Brownsville during the worst years. My mom worked night shifts in neighborhoods where gunshots were the soundtrack. I'm not fragile and I don't scare easy. The doors began to close. His hand shot out, stopping them. Thursday, dinner, just us. I'll tell you everything. Okay. He released the door. As she descended, Sana pressed her hand to her chest, feeling her heart race. Whatever secrets Sang-hoon carried, whatever danger lurked in his world, she was already in too deep. What neither of them noticed was the man in the lobby, pretending to read a newspaper, or the way he followed Sana's Uber with professional precision, or the call he made the moment she entered her apartment building. She's a nurse. No criminal record. No protection. She's perfect leverage. A pause. Yes, sir. The moment you give the word. Thursday evening found Sana standing outside an unmarked restaurant in Koreatown, checking the address Sang-hoon had sent 3 times. No sign. No menu in the window. Just a heavy wooden door and an intercom. She pressed the button. A voice responded in Korean. Before she could attempt to explain, the door clicked open. Inside, soft lighting illuminated a space that felt more like someone's home than a restaurant. Private booths lined the walls. Traditional Korean artwork decorated the space. The scent of sizzling beef and garlic filled the air. A woman in elegant hanbok approached, bowing slightly. Ms. Mitchell? Mr. Yoon is waiting. She led Sana through the restaurant to a private room in the back. Sang-hoon stood as she entered, and Sana's breath caught. He wore a tailored charcoal suit, white shirt with 4 buttons undone, the tiger tattoo on full display. His hair was styled back, revealing the sharp planes of his face. He looked like power incarnate, dangerous, magnetic. You came. The relief in his voice was unmistakable. I said I would. She moved to the low table, accepting his help to sit on the floor cushions. Though I'm starting to think you have trust issues. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. You have no idea. Food began arriving. Small plates of banchan, grilled meats, stews, dishes Sana had never encountered. Sang-hoon explained each one, his hands moving with unconscious grace as he prepared her plate. This is galbi, marinated short ribs. And this is kimchi jjigae, kimchi stew. It's spicy, but you can handle spice. He paused. Right? I'm black, and my best friend is Jamaican. I was raised on jerk chicken and pepper sauce. Try me. His laugh was unexpected, genuine. The sound transformed his face, making him look younger, less burdened. They ate in comfortable silence for a while, the tension from earlier dissolving. Sana found herself relaxing, enjoying the intimacy of the private space, the care he took in ensuring she tried everything. Finally, Sang-hoon set down his chopsticks. His expression shifted, becoming serious, guarded. I promised you truth, he began. So here it is. My import-export businesses. They're legitimate, but they're not my only operations. Sana's pulse quickened, but she kept her expression neutral. I'm listening. My family has been in New York for 2 generations. We came from Busan with nothing. My grandfather built connections, established networks, some legitimate, some less so. He met her eyes directly. I inherited an organization that operates in gray areas, protection services for Korean businesses, mediation of disputes, control of certain territories. Sana processed this carefully. You're telling me you're in the mafia. We don't use that word. But yes, I control Korean organized crime operations in the tri-state area. No hesitation, no sugarcoating. She should have been shocked, horrified. Instead, she found herself oddly calm. Maybe because she'd suspected something wasn't quite legal. Maybe because the danger she'd sensed in him now had context. Are you involved in drugs, human trafficking? Her voice was steady. No. The answer was immediate, emphatic. Never. Those are lines I won't cross. My operations focus on gambling, protection, loan services, and controlling distribution channels for certain goods. I keep violence to a minimum. I don't involve civilians. But there is violence. Yes. He didn't look away. When necessary. To protect my people. To maintain order. To keep worse organizations from gaining power. Sana absorbed this, her mind racing. Why are you telling me this now? Because if you continue seeing me, seeing my daughters, you need to understand the world you're entering. There are rivals, enemies, people who would use anyone close to me as leverage. His jaw tightened. After Sunday, after you left, my head of security informed me that someone had been watching my building, following you. Ice flooded her veins. Someone followed me? We identified him. He works for the Kozlov family, Russian mob that's been trying to expand into Korean territories for years. They've been aggressive lately, looking for weaknesses. Sana's hands clenched in her lap. And I'm a weakness. You could be, which is why I'm giving you a choice. Walk away now. Tonight. I'll have you protected until things settle. Make sure you're safe. Or, he paused, the vulnerability in his expression almost painful to witness. Or you stay. Let me keep you safe. Let me bring you into this world fully, with all the protection that entails. Protection meaning what exactly? Security detail, new apartment if necessary, background checks on everyone in your life, limited freedom in some ways, enhanced safety in others. Sana stood abruptly, needing space to think. She paced the small room, her mind warring between logic and emotion. Logic said, run. Walk away from the dangerous man and his dangerous world. Protect yourself. But emotion remembered 3 little girls who lit up when she walked in, a man who looked at her like she was precious and terrifying in equal measure, a connection that felt more real than anything she'd experienced in years. What about your daughters? She asked finally. They're already targets, aren't they? Pain flashed across his face. Every single day. Which is why they have the best security money can buy. Why they go to a private school with vetted staff. Why I've sacrificed everything to keep them safe. And their mother. How did she die? Sang-hoon stood slowly, his entire body tense. Childbirth complications. Nothing to do with my work. But I wonder every day if the stress of being with me, of knowing what I was, contributed to it. Sana moved closer, seeing the raw guilt he carried. That's not how medicine works. Complications happen. Bodies fail sometimes, and it's no one's fault. Logically, I know that. But logic doesn't stop me from feeling responsible. His voice cracked slightly. I haven't let anyone close to my daughters since. Haven't let anyone close to me, because everyone I care about is vulnerable. Yet here I am. Here you are. He reached out, his hand hovering near her face but not quite touching. And I'm terrified, because I already care what happens to you. My daughters already ask when you're coming back. You've become important in less than 2 weeks, and that makes you dangerous to my control. Sana caught his hand, pressed it against her cheek. I'm not fragile. I've worked trauma ER for 5 years. I've held people as they died. I've been threatened, assaulted, spat on. I understand danger. She turned her head, pressing a kiss to his palm. What I need to know is, do you want me in your life? In their lives? Or is this obligation? Guilt? Protection instinct? His other hand came up, framing her face with both hands now. His thumb traced her lower lip, his dark eyes tracking the movement. I haven't wanted anyone in 15 years, haven't let myself feel anything beyond duty and anger and determination. Then you walked into that restaurant, crouched down to my daughter's level and smiled at them like they were the most important people in the world. His voice dropped to a whisper. And I wanted. For the first time since losing my wife, I wanted something for myself. Sana's breath caught. What do you want? You. Them. A life that feels like more than just survival. His forehead touched hers. But I can't ask you to risk everything for possibility. You're not asking. I'm choosing. She pulled back enough to meet his eyes directly. I choose this. I choose them. I choose you. The kiss was inevitable. His lips met hers with a desperate tenderness, like a man who'd been starving and finally found sustenance. Sana melted into it, her hands fisting in his suit jacket, pulling him closer. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Sang-hoon rested his forehead against hers. There's more you need to know. My family, my grandmother especially, she's traditional. She won't approve of you. Because I'm black, yes. And because you're not Korean. Not connected to the organization. An outsider. He looked pained. She'll make things difficult. Sana straightened her shoulders. I've dealt with racism my entire life. In school, in nursing school, at work. From patients, from other staff. I'm not naive about what I'm walking into. She cupped his jaw. But I'm not backing down either. Those girls deserve happiness. You deserve happiness. And if your family can't see that, that's their loss. Sang-hoon pulled her close, burying his face in her braids. You're extraordinary. I'm stubborn. There's a difference. They spent the rest of the evening talking, really talking. He told her about his childhood in Flushing, learning the family business, the weight of expectations. She shared stories of her mother's strength, her journey through nursing school, the patients who changed her perspective on life. When they finally left the restaurant, Sang-hoon insisted on driving her home personally. His security followed in a second vehicle, a reality she'd need to adjust to. At her apartment building in Crown Heights, he walked her to the door. The neighborhood was worlds away from his Tribeca penthouse, worn brownstones, corner bodegas, the sound of hip-hop drifting from open windows. This is your home? He asked, not judgmental, just observing. This is my home. I grew up 3 blocks from here. My mom still lives in the neighborhood. This is my community. He nodded slowly. Then we'll make sure it stays safe. She unlocked her door, then turned back. Sang-hoon, thank you for telling me the truth, for trusting me. Thank you for staying. He kissed her forehead gently. I'll have someone watching the building tonight. Just precaution. Okay. She accepted this new reality with surprising ease. Inside her studio apartment, Sana leaned against the door, processing everything. She'd just committed to a relationship with a crime lord. She was being followed by rival gangs. She'd need security protection. By all logic, she should be terrified. Instead, she felt oddly certain, like every choice in her life had led to this moment. Her phone buzzed. A text from Sang-hoon. The girls want to know if you'll come to their dance recital Saturday. Front row seats, naturally. Sana smiled, typing back, I wouldn't miss it for anything. 3 blocks away, in a black sedan, a man raised his camera and photographed her illuminated window. He sent the image with a simple message. She knows what he is, and she stayed. This changes the game. Saturday morning, Sana stood in the wings of a small theater in Manhattan, watching 3 tiny ballerinas in pink tutus nervously await their cue. Haewon stood at attention, Yuna fidgeted with her hair, and Eunji waved enthusiastically at every adult who passed. Sang-hoon materialized beside her, his presence commanding even in the chaos of excited 4-year-olds. "You came early. The girls asked me to help with their hair." She gestured to the elaborate buns she'd constructed, complete with tiny tiaras. "Besides, I wanted to see them before the performance. First recital energy is real." His hand found hers, fingers intertwining. The casual intimacy of the gesture sent warmth through her chest. In the 5 days since their dinner, they'd texted constantly, talked on the phone for hours, but this, standing together, watching his daughters, feeling like a unit, this felt significant. "My grandmother is here," he said quietly. "Front row." She insisted on attending. Sana's stomach tightened. "Does she know about me? She knows you exist. She doesn't know how important you've become." His jaw tensed. "She'll try to intimidate you. It's her way. Good thing I don't intimidate easily." Sana squeezed his hand, then released it as the stage manager called for dancers to take their positions. The girls spotted her. "Sana!" they chorused, rushing over despite their teacher's protests. "You look beautiful," Sana said, crouching to their level. "Are you excited?" "I'm scared," Yuna whispered, gripping Sana's hand. "What if I forget the steps?" Sana cupped her face gently. "Then you make up new ones. Dance is about feeling the music, not perfection. And you know what? Your Appa and I will be right there in the front row cheering for you no matter what, okay?" Yuna nodded, her anxiety visibly easing. Haiwan tugged Sana's sleeve. "Is Halmione being nice to you?" The question was telling. These girls already knew their great-grandmother could be difficult. "I haven't met her yet, hey, but don't worry about grown-up stuff. Today is your day to shine." The stage manager herded the dancers toward the stage entrance. Sana straightened, feeling Sang-hoon's presence behind her like a shield. "She already loves you," he murmured, watching Haiwan's protective question register. "They're easy to love." In the auditorium, Sang-hoon led her to the front row. An elderly Korean woman sat center, her posture impeccable, her expression carved from stone. She wore traditional hanbok in deep burgundy, her silver hair pulled into an elegant bun. Despite her age, power radiated from her. Sang-hoon spoke in Korean, gesturing to Sana. The woman's eyes, sharp, assessing, swept over Sana from head to toe. Then she responded in English, her accent thick but her words precise. "So, you are the nurse." Not a question, an assessment. Sana bowed slightly, remembering the cultural respect protocols Sang-hoon had mentioned. "Yes, Halmione. I'm Sana Mitchell. It's an honor to meet you. You speak no Korean?" "Not yet, but I'm willing to learn." The woman's lips thinned. Willing. Many things require more than willingness. She switched to Korean, speaking rapidly to Sang-hoon. He responded, his tone respectful but firm. The lights dimmed. Conversation ceased. But Sana felt the tension radiating from the woman beside her, a silent war being waged. Then the music started and 3 little girls twirled onto the stage. All other concerns evaporated. Sana watched, her heart swelling, as Haiwan executed each move with fierce concentration. Yuna danced with surprising confidence, and Yunji added creative flourishes that weren't in the choreography, but somehow worked. When Yuna spotted them in the audience, her face lit up. She waved, definitely not part of the routine, and nearly missed her next step. Sana pressed her hand to her mouth, laughing silently. Beside her, Sang-hoon's entire posture had softened, his eyes glued to his daughters. Even his grandmother's stern expression cracked slightly, pride seeping through. After the performance, backstage became a madhouse of excited children and proud parents. The girls barreled toward their family, and Sana braced for impact as all 3 launched themselves at her simultaneously. "Did you see? Did you see?" Yunji bounced with uncontained energy. "You were all magnificent, absolute stars." Sana hugged each of them, her voice thick with genuine emotion. Sang-hoon's grandmother watched this interaction with an unreadable expression. When the girls finally released Sana and ran to show their great-grandmother their flowers, the elderly woman spoke again. "They like you," stated as fact, not approval. "I like them. They're remarkable children. Because their father raised them well, alone, without outside interference." Sana recognized the barb for what it was. "You're right. Sang-hoon has done an incredible job, but even the strongest people need support, need partnership, need love." The woman's eyes sharpened. "You speak of love? You know my grandson 2 weeks. You know nothing of our world, our responsibilities, our dangers." "You're right. I don't know everything, but I know those 3 girls deserve every ounce of love the world can give them, and I know your grandson carries burdens that would break most people." Sana met the woman's gaze steadily. I'm not trying to replace anyone. I'm not trying to change your family. I just want to be there for them, support them, love them. Love. The woman said it like a weapon. Love makes us weak, makes us vulnerable. In our world, vulnerability kills. Maybe. Or maybe love makes us stronger, gives us something worth fighting for. Sana refused to back down. Those girls need more than protection and duty. They need warmth, joy, the freedom to be children. Something flickered in the woman's expression. Not approval exactly, but perhaps grudging respect. You have courage. Foolish courage. Better than no courage at all. Sang-hoon approached, sensing the tension. Almeone, we should let the girls change. We're taking them for ice cream. His grandmother stood with regal grace. I will join you. Not a request. The ice cream parlor in Koreatown was family-owned, and the staff clearly knew Sang-hoon well. A private room was immediately prepared. The girls, still in their recital excitement, chatted about their performance while demolishing enormous sundaes. Sana sat between Yuna and Yoonji, helping manage the inevitable ice cream chaos. Across the table, Sang-hoon's grandmother observed with hawk-like attention. Sana, Haewon said suddenly, her voice carrying that serious tone she used for important questions. Are you going to be our new mummy? The room went silent. Sang-hoon froze, spoon halfway to his mouth. His grandmother's expression turned glacial. Sana's heart hammered, but she kept her voice calm, honest. I don't know, Hai. That's a really big question. What I do know is that I care about you three very much, and I care about your upper, and I want to be part of your lives in whatever way feels right for all of us. Yoonji tugged her sleeve. But you like us, right? I love you, Sana corrected gently. All three of you. Yuna's eyes welled up. Really? Really. Sana pulled her close. You're easy to love. Sang-hoon's grandmother stood abruptly. Sang-hoon, a word, now. He followed her outside. Through the window, Sana watched them engage in what was clearly a heated discussion. The grandmother gestured sharply. Sang-hoon's posture remained respectful but immovable. When they returned 15 minutes later, the woman's expression had shifted from anger to something more complex. Resignation, maybe, or strategic recalibration. She approached Sana directly. You will come to family dinner. Next Sunday, 6 o'clock. Again, not a request. Sang-hoon's jaw tightened, but he nodded almost imperceptibly at Sana. An invitation to the family home was significant. A test, yes, but also acknowledgement. I'll be there, Sana confirmed. The grandmother left shortly after, her departure as commanding as her presence. The girls immediately relaxed, the tension they'd been unconsciously holding melting away. Later, after the girls had been delivered to their apartment with their nanny, Sang-hoon walked Sana to his car. The November evening had turned cold, frost forming on windows. I'm sorry, he said quietly. She was harsh. She's protecting her family. I understand that. Sana leaned against the car. What did you say to her? Outside. Sang-hoon was quiet for a long moment. I told her that, for the first time since my wife died, my daughters are laughing again, really laughing. That they run to the door when you arrive. That Yuna, who barely speaks to strangers, talks to you for hours. He met her eyes. I told her that I would choose you, over tradition, over family approval, over everything. Sana's breath caught. Sang-hoon, I need you to understand what that means. In my world, family is everything. Defying my grandmother, it has consequences. Professional consequences. Personal ones. Then maybe you shouldn't. He pulled her close, cutting off her protest with a kiss that was fierce, possessive, desperate. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. Don't ask me to choose between you and my family, because I've already chosen. It's you. It's always going to be you. Sana's eyes burned. That's a lot of pressure. I know, but you asked for honesty. That's my truth. You and my daughters. You're my family now. Everything else is just politics. They stood there in the cold, holding each other, both aware that they'd crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. Sana had been welcomed into a world of danger and tradition. Sang-hoon had declared his choice to his family. There was no going back now. What neither of them saw was the figure in the shadows across the street, or the camera capturing their embrace, or the call being made to a number in Brighton Beach. The grandmother disapproves, but he's chosen the nurse anyway. Family drama we can exploit. A pause. Tomorrow night, when she leaves the hospital. That's when we move. Sunday night shift at Bellevue Hospital meant controlled chaos. Sana moved through the ER with practiced efficiency, Her mind focused on patience, even as part of her consciousness buzzed with anticipation. Tomorrow she'd meet Sang-hoon's extended family. Tonight, she just needed to survive 12 hours of medical emergencies. At 11 p.m. she stepped outside for a rare break, pulling her jacket tight against the December cold. The ambulance bay was relatively quiet, just the distant wail of sirens and the hum of the city. Her phone buzzed. A text from Sang-hoon. "The girls insisted I send you this." An attached photo showed all three girls in matching pajamas, holding a sign that read, "We miss Sana." Her heart melted. She was typing a response when she noticed the black van. It had been parked in the same spot for the past hour, engine running. Something about it prickled her instincts, the same instincts that warned her when a patient's vitals were about to crash. Sana turned to go back inside. The van's doors opened. Three men emerged, moving with coordinated precision. Professional. Dangerous. She ran. Didn't think. Just moved. Her years of ER training kicked in. Assess the threat. Create distance. Find help. She made it 15 feet before a hand clamped over her mouth, another arm wrapping around her waist. Training took over. Sana drove her elbow back hard, connecting with ribs. She stomped down on an instep, twisted, fought. But there were three of them, and they were prepared for resistance. "Niet," one barked in Russian. "Don't hurt her. Boss wants her intact." A cloth pressed against her face. Chemical smell. Sana held her breath, still struggling, but her vision was already blurring. The last thing she saw before darkness claimed her was her phone, fallen on the pavement, Sang-hoon's text still glowing on the screen. Sang-hoon was reviewing security reports when his phone rang. An unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something, instinct, premonition, made him pick up. "Mr. Yoon." The voice was male, Russian accent thick. "We have something of yours." Ice flooded his veins. "Who is this?" "Let's not play games. Your nurse, Sana Mitchell. Picked her up 20 minutes ago outside Bellevue. Very easy. Your security was inadequate." Sang-hoon's hand tightened on the phone hard enough that the case cracked. "If you've hurt her, she's fine, for now. Kozlov sends his regards. He would like to renegotiate territories. Your cooperation in exchange for the woman's safe return. Where is she?" His voice was deadly calm. The control absolute. Secure. Comfortable. "We're not animals, Mr. Yoon. We don't harm women." A pause. "Unless necessary, you have 24 hours to consider our proposal. Withdraw from Sheepshead Bay and Brighton Beach. Transfer control of your distribution networks. Then you get her back. That's suicide for my organization. You're asking me to dismantle everything I've built." "Yes, but you get your woman back alive. Seems like a fair trade." The voice turned mocking. "Unless she's not that important. Just another piece. We can always return her damaged." Sang-hoon closed his eyes, rage and fear warring in his chest. Every instinct screamed to negotiate, to comply, to protect Sana at any cost. But he'd built his reputation on never showing weakness, never surrendering to threats. If he caved now, it would never end. They'd know they could control him through her. His daughters would be next. "Let me speak to her." Proof of life. Rustling. Footsteps. Then Sana's voice, groggy but defiant. "Sang-hoon." "Sana." His voice cracked despite his control. "Are you hurt?" "I'm okay, they haven't—" The phone was yanked away. "Satisfied?" 24 hours, Mr. Yoon. We'll be in touch with meeting details." The line went dead. Sang-hoon stood frozen for 3 seconds. Then he moved. "Jin-soo." His head of security appeared instantly. "Kozlov has Sana. They took her from Bellevue." His voice was ice over fire. "Mobilize everyone, every asset, every contact. I want her location within 6 hours. Boss, if we go to war with the Russian—" "Did I stutter?" Sang-hoon's eyes were black with fury. "They took her. They threatened her. There is no negotiation. There is no surrender. There is only getting her back." He grabbed his jacket, his gun. "And when we do, Kozlov is going to learn exactly why my family has controlled this city for 2 generations." Sana woke fully in a windowless room. Concrete walls, single door, a cot, a chair, a bucket. No obvious cameras, but she assumed surveillance. Her nursing training kicked in. Assess the situation, evaluate resources, create options. She wasn't restrained. That was good. The door had a deadbolt. Bad. She had no phone, no way to communicate. Very bad. But she was alive, unharmed, which meant they wanted something from Sang-hoon, which meant she had value as a bargaining chip. The door opened. A man entered. Tall, broad, tattooed. Not the ones who'd grabbed her. This one wore expensive clothes, carried himself with authority. "Miss Mitchell, I am Dmitri Kozlov." His English was accented but perfect. "I apologize for the dramatic introduction, but your boyfriend left me few options." Sana stood, refusing to show fear. "He's not my boyfriend, and kidnapping is a federal offense." Kozlov laughed. "You think police matter in our world? You think laws apply?" He pulled out a chair, gestured for her to sit. She remained standing. Stubborn. "I respect that. You're tougher than the last one." "Last one?" Yoon's wife. She was softer, broke easily. He said it casually, like discussing the weather. Horror crashed through Sana. "You killed her?" "Not personally, but her death was convenient for my organization. Weakened Yoon, made him vulnerable." Kozlov leaned forward. "You, though, you're different. Stronger. Maybe you'll survive this." Rage joined the fear. This man had orchestrated the death of Sang-hoon's wife, had stolen the girl's mother, and now threatened her. "He'll come for me. I'm counting on it. Either he surrenders territory, or he tries to rescue you and walks into a trap. Either way, I win. You underestimate him. Perhaps, or perhaps you overestimate how much you matter to him." Kozlov stood. "We'll see. Try to rest, Ms. Mitchell. Tomorrow will be eventful." He left. The deadbolt clicked. Sana sank onto the cot, her mind racing. She needed to survive, needed to find a way out. Because if Sang-hoon came for her, and he would, she refused to be just a damsel waiting for rescue. 18 hours later, Sang-hoon sat in his car 2 blocks from a warehouse in Red Hook. His entire organization had mobilized. Every informant, every connection, every resource. They'd traced Sana's phone signal before it went dead, tracked the van through traffic cameras, identified the warehouse as a Kozlov front. Jin-soo outlined the plan. 12 men inside, heavy weapons. Kozlov himself is there, probably hoping you'd come. "It's a trap. Obviously, so we don't walk in the front door." Jin-soo pulled up building schematics. "Old loading dock, maintenance access. We can get in undetected, extract her, be gone before they realize." Sang-hoon studied the plans, his tactical mind working through scenarios. Then his phone buzzed, a video message. His blood ran cold. Sana, tied to a chair. Kozlov beside her, gun pressed to her temple. "Mr. Yoon, time's up. Front door. Alone. Or I decorate the walls with her brain." Sana's eyes met the camera. No tears, no begging, just fierce, unmistakable defiance. Even bound and threatened, she was magnificent. "Boss," Jin-soo started. "I'm going in." "It's suicide." Sang-hoon looked at his oldest friend, his most trusted lieutenant. "Then you'll need to be smart about extraction. Give me 5 minutes inside, then hit them from 3 sides. Smoke, chaos, overwhelming force." He checked his weapons. Kozlov thinks he's winning. Let him believe it. He walked to the warehouse alone, hands visible, unarmed, at least visibly. The front door opened. 2 guards flanked him, searched him thoroughly, found the obvious weapons, missed the knife in his boot. Inside, Kozlov sat on a throne-like chair. Sana was bound beside him, bruised but alive, conscious. When she saw Sang-hoon, relief and terror warred in her expression. The great Sang-hoon Yoon, walking into a trap for a woman. Kozlov laughed. "Love makes us weak, doesn't it?" Sang-hoon's eyes never left Sana. "Or it makes us dangerous because men with nothing to lose are predictable, men with everything to lose?" He smiled. Cold, lethal. "We're willing to burn the world down." Brave words from a man surrounded by my guns. Your guns, my city. Your warehouse surrounded by my people. Sang-hoon checked his watch. 3 minutes ago, your supply lines were cut. 2 minutes ago, your lieutenants were arrested. We have connections you don't. 1 minute ago, your accounts were frozen. Kozlov's confidence flickered. "You're bluffing." "Am I? Check your phone. See how many calls you've missed in the last hour." Kozlov grabbed his phone. His face paled. 37 missed calls. Frantic messages. Chaos. "You took my woman," Sang-hoon said, his voice dropping to a deadly whisper. "So I took your empire. In 18 hours, I dismantled everything you built. And now?" He checked his watch again. "Now my people are coming through that door." Right on cue, explosions rocked the building. Smoke flooded the warehouse. Gunfire erupted. Chaos. Sang-hoon moved, retrieved his boot knife, cut Sana's bonds in seconds. "Can you run? After 19 hours tied up? Watch me." He pulled her close, shielding her body with his as they moved through the chaos. Jin-Soo appeared, providing cover. They fought their way to the loading dock, every step a battle. Behind them, Kozlov screamed orders, but his men were scattered, confused, outnumbered. Outside, Sang-hoon bundled Sana into an armored SUV. Only when the doors closed and they were moving did he finally let himself breathe. "You came," Sana whispered, her voice breaking. "Did you think I wouldn't?" He pulled her against his chest, his hands shaking slightly as they cradled her head. "You're mine. No one takes what's mine." She laughed, the sound half sob. "Possessive much?" "Absolutely." He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, finally her lips. "And if anyone ever tries this again, I will end them. Their families, their organizations, everything." Sana pulled back enough to meet his eyes. "Kozlov said he killed your wife." Sang-hoon's expression turned to stone. "What?" "He bragged about it. Said her death weakened you, made you vulnerable." Rage, pure, incandescent, flared in his eyes. Then he controlled it, banking the fire. "Then Kozlov just signed his death warrant." He spoke into his phone. "Jin-Soo, Kozlov doesn't leave that warehouse alive. I don't care how you do it." 20 minutes later, at his penthouse, Sang-hoon personally checked every inch of Sana for injuries. The bruises on her wrists from the restraints made him curse in Korean. He treated each one with clinical precision, his hands gentle despite the fury radiating from him. "I should never have let you go to work. Should have insisted on closer protection. This isn't your fault. It's exactly my fault. You're in danger because of me, because I was selfish enough to want you in my life despite knowing the risks." Sana grabbed his hands, forcing him to stop fidgeting with bandages. "Sang-hoon, look at me." When he did, she saw the guilt eating him alive. "I chose this. I chose you. I chose them. And I'd choose it again. You could have died. But I didn't. Because you came for me. Because you're brilliant and terrifying and exactly as dangerous as you need to be to keep us safe." She cupped his face. "I'm not going anywhere. Understand? She's not going anywhere." The callback to the title wasn't lost on him. Sang-hoon pulled her close, burying his face in her neck. "I love you. I shouldn't. It's too fast, too dangerous, too everything, but I do." Sana's breath caught. "Say it again." He pulled back, meeting her eyes with absolute certainty. "I love you, Sana Mitchell. You and my daughters are my world now. Everything else is just noise. I love you too." She kissed him, pouring every ounce of emotion into it. "All of you. The good, the dangerous, the complicated." The next morning, 3 little girls burst into their father's bedroom and found Sana asleep beside him, safe and whole. Their shrieks of joy woke the entire floor. And in a warehouse in Red Hook, Kozlov's body was discovered. The message was clear. No one threatens Yoon's family and lives. The Yoon family estate in Westchester was transformed for the occasion. Cherry blossoms, imported and encouraged to bloom early, decorated every surface. Traditional Korean lanterns hung alongside string lights. 2 cultures merged seamlessly. Sana stood in the bridal suite, her mother adjusting the hanbok-inspired wedding dress they'd designed together. White silk with African kente cloth accents at the hem and sleeves. Traditional and revolutionary all at once. "You sure about this, baby?" Her mother's voice was gentle. "It's not too late to run." Sana laughed. "Mama, I've been sure since that first dinner, when he walked in with 3 adorable saboteurs and thought he could scare me off." A knock. Haewon peeked in, wearing her flower girl dress. "Sana, Appa wants to know if you're ready. Also, Yoonji ate 3 cookies and might throw up." So normal. So perfectly chaotic. Exactly her life now. The ceremony blended traditions, Korean and African American, and simply theirs. Sang-hoon's grandmother sat in the front row, her expression still stern, but her eyes suspiciously wet. She'd come around slowly, grudgingly, but seeing her great-granddaughters happy had eventually won her over. When Sang-hoon lifted Sana's veil, his smile was radiant. "You came. I always do." She grinned. "And I always will." The reception was a fusion feast. Korean barbecue alongside Caribbean jerk chicken, traditional wedding cake next to bingsu. 2 communities, merged by love. During their first dance, Sana whispered, "No regrets. Only that I didn't bring the girls to every date. Would have saved time." He kissed her temple. "You're mine now. Officially. Legally. Forever. So possessive. Absolutely." He spun her, then pulled her close. "She's not going anywhere. None of them are." 3 little girls crashed into them, demanding to dance too. They laughed, making space, creating a circle of four that became the center of everything. A failed blind date had become a love story. A sabotage had become salvation. And a Korean mafia boss who thought he could scare away connection had found exactly what he needed: a woman brave enough to stay.